One of these mistakes will cost you 135 euros, and most cyclists in France make it without even realizing it. Last week I made a video about 5 things you need to be aware of when cycling in France. Then you lot filled the comments with things that I actually missed. So here are 5 more, including one that is actually illegal. Keep watching to find out what you said, what I didn't know, and the one rule that could leave you 135 euros worse off. Let's start with something that tripped a lot of you up in the comments. Cycle paths. In the last video I said using them was a gesture of goodwill. And that was kind of right. But there was a detail I glossed over. If you see a sign with a bike in a blue square, the cycle path is recommended. Use it if you want. But if the bike is in a blue circle, it's mandatory. You have to use it. It's the law. I'll be honest, even living here, I genuinely didn't know this rule and I had to go and double check it. Worth knowing because in some areas, the gendarmes do care. While we are on legal nuances, here is another one that nobody knows about. Rear flashing lights. As of November 2024, rear red flashing lights are illegal in France. Steady, solid rear lights only. I know, counterintuitive. Most cyclists assume more visibility is better, and a flashing light has always been the default. But the rule changed and now it's on the books. From what I can tell, the gendarmes aren't enforcing this one just yet. Most cyclists I see still have a rear red flashing light. But if you want to be properly legal, and you should be, because rules tend to get enforced eventually, then stick to a red solid rear light. Now to the one I led with, the 135 euro mistake. Headphones or earbuds. A lot of cyclists ride with earbuds in. One in, both in, or the ones that just go around your cheek here. Doesn't matter. They're all banned in France for cyclists. The fine is 135 euros. Not a slap on the wrist, a proper fine. I see plenty of people getting away with it. But if you get pulled over, that is an instant fine. And if you're involved in an accident while wearing them, then that gets very complicated. Honestly, once you've ridden here a few times, you stop missing the music and you start hearing the real France. Distant bells ringing in the church, birds singing in the hedgerows, and tractors working 1 or 2 fields away. Now this one is genuinely useful. A viewer mentioned it in the comments and I thought, why have I never thought of this? Because it's true and it works. If you run out of water, check for a church spire. Almost every village in France has a church. Almost every church has a graveyard. And every graveyard has a tap with fresh, clean water. The water is there for people tending the graves. It's clean, it's drinkable, and on a hot day in the middle of nowhere can be a lifesaver. It's one of those bits of local knowledge nobody tells you about. Closing time, I covered this last week, but the comments added a layer I missed. It's not lunchtime closures and the odd 2-week holiday. There are public holidays in France you've probably never heard of. VE Day, Assumption Day, All Saints Day. Treat them like a Sunday. Everything closes. One viewer rolled into a village on the 8th of May last year, expecting to go to a boulangerie, and it was shut. It was VE Day. Big deal in France. Everyone's at the war memorial. Nobody is behind the counter at the boulangerie. So before you head out on a long ride, check the date. If it's a public holiday, treat it like a Super Sunday and carry more food and drink than you usually take. And finally, this one is for the British, Irish and Australian riders. A tip from a viewer that I thought was absolutely brilliant. If you're not used to riding on the right, wrap a piece of red tape around your handlebar on the right hand side. Just a small strip. When you're fresh, you don't need it. But on hour 5, when you're tired and you turn up at a junction or a roundabout and your brain wants to default to the left, that little flash of red tape will remind you to stay right. It sounds silly and could possibly be the most important thing on your bike. So there we go, 5 things plus 1 bonus because one of you genuinely flagged something I didn't know. All from the comments, all from you who clearly know what you are talking about. That's the best part of doing this job. I learn as much from you as you learn from me. As always, if you've got any more, drop them in the comments below. There's clearly a third video in there somewhere. And if you're planning a trip to France, then check out my free PDF guide, 10 things every cyclist needs to know when cycling in France. Drop a comment below and I'll send you a link so that you can download the file. It's free and worth grabbing before you travel to France. And if you haven't seen them yet, you can also watch my 2 original videos. The first, 5 tips for cycling in France, and the second, 5 things to be aware of when cycling in France. Both these videos should be on your screen somewhere here now. Go check those out.